Welcome to Channel Rare Coins Collections, another exciting episode, coin enthusiasts. Today, we've got a fascinating topic lined up for you, a coin that might just be hiding in your collection or even in your pocket right now. We're diving into the United States 1-cent coin from 1975, focusing specifically on the coin's mint mark and the value it holds in the collector's market. If you think this small cent doesn't hold much significance, you might want to think again, because this coin could be worth a lot more than its face value. The 1975 penny is a coin you've probably come across countless times. It was minted during a unique year in U.S. history, and most of these coins are commonly found in circulation today. However, there's one particular version of the 1975 penny that has caught the attention of serious coin collectors, and it could make you a small fortune if you happen to find one. Let's start with some background. In 1975, the U.S. Mint made a significant change in how they produced coins. This year is especially important because the coinage was part of a transitional period, following some changes to the minting process. However, the most intriguing feature about the 1975 penny lies in its mint mark, specifically, a rare variety that collectors have been chasing for decades. First, let's talk about the standard version of the 1975 penny. These coins were struck at several U.S. mint facilities, most notably the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. The majority of these pennies bear a simple D or S mint mark, depending on where they were made. But what really sets some of these coins apart from others is a small, yet very valuable detail that makes them incredibly rare: the 1975 penny with a double die error. Now, a double die error happens when the design on the coin is struck more than once, resulting in a distorted, or doubled, image. This error is especially noticeable on the numbers of the date, where the 7 and 5 in 1975 appear to be doubled, making the coin a rare find among collectors. The significance of this particular error makes it highly sought after by enthusiasts who are looking to complete their collections or just add a unique piece to their portfolio. But why does this 1975 penny carry such a hefty price tag? While most 1975 pennies are worth only a few cents at face value, this rare double-die variety has been known to fetch impressive prices on the market, especially when in top condition. Collectors are always looking for these rare coins because they are unique, with a high level of scarcity, and finding one in pristine condition is even rarer. In fact, when you come across a 1975 penny with this double die error, it can be worth far more than you'd expect. Depending on the condition of the coin and the severity of the doubling error, the price can vary. However, in excellent, uncirculated condition, the value can rise dramatically, especially if it's a coin with well-defined, clear doubling. The 1975 penny with a double die error isn't the only variant collectors are after. There are also cases where mint marks were mistakenly omitted or misaligned, adding further uniqueness to certain coins. These errors can also drive up the coin's value, making them a highly desirable find for numismatists. As for the general value of a 1975 penny, it can range from just a few cents for those in poor condition, to several $100s for a well-maintained specimen with a notable minting error. But what about the grand prize, the coin that could make you rich? If you happen to stumble upon a pristine 1975 penny with a double die error, you could be looking at a jaw-dropping value of $60,000. Yes, you heard that right, $60,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe, but that's the kind of value this coin could hold in the right condition. Whether it's sitting in your coin jar, tucked away in an old collection, or even passed down from a relative, it's worth taking a closer look at any 1975 pennies you find. Make sure to inspect them carefully for any signs of error, especially around the date and mint mark, as these could be your ticket to a small fortune. For those of you out there who are just starting your coin collecting journey, this is a reminder to always be on the lookout for those hidden gems that might be worth more than you initially think. The world of numismatics is filled with surprises, and the 1975 penny is just one example of how a small, seemingly insignificant coin can turn into something incredibly valuable. So, what's the takeaway here? Keep an eye out for 1975 pennies, especially those with a double die error or minting anomalies. If you find one in great condition, it could be worth much more than its 1 cent value. And who knows? You could be holding onto a coin worth as much as $60,000. Today we're diving into the world of one of the most iconic and widely circulated coins in the United States, the 1976 1-cent penny. But before you assume it's just another common coin, let me tell you that the 1976 penny, especially when it has the right mint mark and unique features, is much more than just a piece of pocket change. If you think this coin is only worth its face value, think again, because some of these pennies are fetching jaw-dropping prices in the world of coin collecting. Now, you might be wondering, what makes the 1976 penny so special? After all, it's not exactly a rare year for US pennies. Well, it's all about the specifics, the minting errors, the condition, and a few subtle details that make certain 1976 pennies highly sought after by collectors. So sit tight as we explore the history, design, and most importantly, the value of this seemingly humble coin. Let's start with a bit of history. The 1976 penny was produced during a pivotal year in U.S. history, the year of the country's bicentennial celebration. In fact, the entire coinage system in the United States underwent a redesign for that year to commemorate 200 years of American independence. You'll notice that the reverse of the 1976 penny features a special design with a modified version of the usual Lincoln Memorial. This design was part of the bicentennial series that graced all U.S. coins, which makes the 1976 penny an interesting piece from both a historical and numismatic perspective. Now, let's talk about the details that make this coin a little more complicated than just a regular penny. The 1976 penny came from multiple mints across the country, primarily from the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. Each mint has its own specific mark, which gives us the first clue as to why the mint mark on this coin is important. If you're familiar with coin collecting, you probably know that the mint mark on a coin tells you where it was struck. The most common mint marks for the 1976 penny are the D mint mark for the Denver Mint and the S mint mark for the San Francisco Mint. However, while these coins are fairly common in circulation, there's something special about certain 1976 pennies, particularly those that were minted with errors or have certain variants that make them incredibly rare. One of the key factors that adds value to the 1976 penny is its condition. Like with all coins, the higher the quality, the more valuable the coin becomes. Coins that have been well preserved, with sharp details, no visible wear, and minimal discoloration, are much more desirable to collectors. Most pennies from 1976 that were used in circulation have experienced some wear, making uncirculated coins far more valuable. If you happen to have a 1976 penny that looks as if it just came off the minting press, you may be holding onto a gem. But here's where it gets really interesting. Some 1976 pennies are highly prized because they feature rare minting errors or unique characteristics. These errors can range from double strikes to misaligned dies, where the image is not properly centered. These errors are relatively rare but make the coin even more valuable. If you ever come across a 1976 penny with a noticeable error, you could be looking at something worth much more than just a few cents. One of the most famous errors associated with the 1976 penny is the double die error, where the image on the coin is doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. This can cause the design, especially the date or the letters on the coin, to appear distorted or blurry. If you find a 1976 penny with this type of error, you could be holding a coin that's worth much more than you might have thought. But let's not forget the special appeal of certain mint marks. Some collectors focus specifically on pennies that have been minted in specific locations, as these can often hold more historical value. For example, the San Francisco Mint produced a small number of pennies in 1976, and these can sometimes be harder to find in circulation, making them more valuable. Additionally, the overall rarity of the 1976 penny in good condition, along with potential minting errors, drives up the price for collectors looking for unique pieces to add to their collections. So, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for, the price. While most 1976 pennies might only be worth a few cents, there's one specific 1976 penny that's known to fetch a significant sum. If you happen to have a 1976 penny with a rare error or in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could be worth as much as $57,000. Yes, you heard that right, $57,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that something as small as a 1-cent coin could hold such a large value, but it's true. The rarity of the minting error, the coin's condition, and its historical significance can all contribute to its immense worth. So, the next time you check your spare change or dig through your old coin collection, be sure to take a close look at any 1976 pennies you come across. If you find one with a rare error or in perfect condition, you could be holding a small fortune. Remember, coin collecting isn't just about owning coins, it's about understanding the history, the design, and the unique features that can turn an ordinary coin into a valuable treasure. Today, we have an exciting episode that's going to make you take a second look at your coin jar or that old collection you've been holding onto for years. We're talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1977, and believe it or not, this little penny could be worth way more than just 1 cent. In fact, some of these 1977 pennies have been known to fetch astonishing amounts of money. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who loves learning about rare treasures, stick around as we explore the fascinating world of the 1977 penny. The 1977 penny might seem like just another typical coin from the late 20th century, but there's more to it than meets the eye. This coin was minted during a relatively uneventful period in U.S. history, but as time passed, it has become a hidden gem for collectors. To understand why the 1977 penny is so valuable today, we need to dive into its history, the minting process, and most importantly, the factors that can significantly increase its value. In 1977, the United States Mint produced millions of 1-cent coins, and like most pennies from this era, the design remained the same as it had been for decades. Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, front, side, and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, back. These pennies were circulated widely, meaning most of them were used in everyday transactions and saw a lot of wear and tear. It's the condition of these coins, along with some rare minting errors, that can make the 1977 penny extremely valuable today. So, let's talk about what makes a 1977 penny valuable. The first thing to note is that most of the pennies from this year are common, and they're not worth much more than their face value. But there's a catch. Some 1977 pennies have rare features or defects that set them apart, and these are the ones collectors are eager to find. The first and most important factor that could increase a penny's value is its condition. Coins that have been kept in mint condition, without any wear, scratches, or discoloration, are far more valuable than those that have been circulated heavily. So, if you come across a 1977 penny that looks like it's brand new, without any marks or signs of aging, you're already looking at something more valuable than the average penny. These coins are considered uncirculated and are sought after by collectors because they are harder to find in pristine condition. However, there's more to this coin than just its condition. Some 1977 pennies have been struck with errors during the minting process, making them even more valuable. One of the most exciting things for coin collectors is finding coins with minting errors. These errors can happen when the die used to strike the coin is damaged, misaligned, or not properly cleaned. When it comes to the 1977 penny, some coins were struck with doubled images, a minting flaw known as a double die error. This is where the design on the coin is imprinted more than once, resulting in the image being duplicated or offset. If you find a 1977 penny with a noticeable double die error, you've found a coin that could potentially be worth a significant amount of money. Double die coins are always in high demand because they are rare and one of a kind, making them a prized possession for collectors. Aside from minting errors, another feature that adds to the value of the 1977 penny is the specific mint mark it carries. The mint mark indicates where the coin was produced, either at the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, or the San Francisco Mint. While the majority of 1977 pennies feature the D mint mark for Denver, there are fewer pennies minted in Philadelphia and San Francisco, making them rarer and more valuable to collectors. While a penny from any of these mints could be worth more than its face value, Those with rare errors or in perfect condition are the true standouts. Let's also talk about the overall demand for 1977 pennies in the collector's market. Over the years, the demand for certain coins has grown as collectors seek out pieces with historical significance or rarity. While the 1977 penny might not have been a coin people thought much about when it was originally minted, it's become one of the many examples of how rare errors and high-quality preservation can turn an everyday item into a highly desirable collectible. Now, let's get to the most exciting part. How much can a 1977 penny be worth? Most 1977 pennies will likely only fetch a few cents, but if you've managed to find one in uncirculated condition or, even better, one with a minting error like a double die, the value skyrockets. You could be looking at a coin worth as much as $54,000. That's right, $54,000 for a single 1977 penny with the right features. If you happen to stumble upon a 1977 penny that is in top condition or has a minting error, it could be your ticket to a small fortune. So, whether you're checking through your spare change or looking at old coin collections, be sure to take a closer look at any 1977 pennies you come across. With the right features, they could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Remember, coin collecting is all about the hunt, and sometimes, hidden treasures are waiting right under your nose. Today, we've got an intriguing topic that might just change how you view your pocket change forever. We're taking a deep dive into a coin that you might not think twice about, but it could be worth a small fortune. I'm talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1978, specifically the ones with the unique mint mark or special features that could make them incredibly valuable. So, if you've got a stash of old pennies or just enjoy learning about rare and valuable coins, stick around because you might just have a treasure sitting in your collection. At first glance, the 1978 penny might seem like any other. After all, it's a coin that's been in circulation for decades and has become a common sight in the hands of Americans. It was minted during a time of relative stability in the United States, with Jimmy Carter serving as president and the economy seeing both challenges and growth. The design of the penny remained largely unchanged from previous years, featuring the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side. But don't let its common appearance fool you. This coin has an interesting story behind it, and in certain cases, is worth far more than just 1 cent. In 1978, the U.S. Mint produced billions of these 1-cent coins, so finding a 1978 penny in your everyday life isn't particularly rare. However, just like many other coins from different years, there are certain features and variations that can significantly increase its value. The first thing you need to know is that, just like most coins, the 1978 penny's worth depends largely on its condition. Most of the pennies minted in 1978 saw extensive use in circulation, which means they're often found with signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration. These are the pennies that are worth only their face value, but if you manage to find one that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, you've already got a coin worth more than the average penny. The condition of a coin is one of the most important factors that influence its value. A well-preserved 1978 penny, free from the typical wear and tear, can command a higher price because it's rarer to find one that's been kept in perfect shape for decades. This makes uncirculated 1978 pennies very appealing to collectors, as they represent a glimpse into the past, looking as though they just rolled off the minting press. If you find a 1978 penny that's never been in circulation or has been stored carefully, it could be worth much more than its face value. Now, let's talk about something even more exciting: minting errors. These are the holy grail for collectors because they make a coin rare and unique. Minting errors happen when there's a mistake in the process of producing the coin. Whether it's a misaligned die, a doubling of the design, or an incorrect strike, these errors are what collectors are after when it comes to finding valuable coins. In the case of the 1978 penny, certain coins were struck with errors that make them highly sought after. For example, a double die error is a common and highly desirable mistake in which the coin's design is imprinted twice, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the date or letters. If you come across a 1978 penny with such an error, you could be holding a coin worth much more than its original 1-cent value. Another aspect that collectors look for is the mint mark on the coin. In 1978, pennies were minted at both the Denver Mint and the Philadelphia Mint, and each one carries its own distinct mark. While these mint marks don't always make the coin significantly more valuable on their own, some collectors prefer to seek out specific mint marks, especially if they are rare or in particularly good condition. The D mint mark from Denver and the P mark from Philadelphia are the most common for the 1978 penny, but as with all coins, those in better condition with rarer characteristics will always fetch a higher price. So, what's the potential value of your 1978 penny if you happen to have one that's in excellent condition or has a minting error? It's time for the exciting part, the price. While most 1978 pennies are worth little more than their face value, if you've got one in uncirculated condition, or if it has a rare minting error, you could be looking at a potential windfall. A well-preserved 1978 penny, especially one with a double die error or another type of mistake, can be worth as much as $50,000. That's right, $50,000 for a single penny. Now, you might be wondering how a penny that's over 40 years old could fetch such a high price. Well, the rarity of the coin in pristine condition, combined with any minting errors or defects, is what drives the price up. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins with unique features or mistakes, and finding one in perfect condition or with an error is a true treasure. So, how do you go about finding one of these valuable 1978 pennies? First, take a good look at your spare change or any old collections you might have lying around. Inspect any 1978 pennies closely for signs of errors like doubling, misalignments, or any other abnormalities. If the coin looks uncirculated, even better. Keep in mind that the more pristine the condition, the higher the coin's value will be. If you've got a coin that meets these criteria, you could be sitting on a very valuable piece of history. As always, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1978 penny is just another example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can be worth far more than its face value. Whether you're just starting your coin collection or you're a seasoned numismatist, the thrill of finding a rare or valuable coin is always exciting. So, next time you check your change, take a second look at any 1978 pennies. You might just have a treasure on your hands that could be worth $50,000. Thanks for joining us today. Today, we're going to talk about something that might make you rethink the value of those pennies you've got sitting in your drawer. We're diving into the United States 1-cent coin from 1979, and let me tell you, this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth far more than just 1 cent. If you've got any 1979 pennies in your collection, you may be sitting on a potential gold mine. Stick with us, and by the end of this video, you might just discover that your 1979 penny could be worth a small fortune. Now, you might be wondering, what makes the 1979 penny so special? After all, it's just another coin from the late 20th century. But that's where things get interesting. The penny was minted during a time of transition in the U.S. In 1979, the U.S. Mint produced billions of these pennies, as the country continued to deal with economic challenges and political shifts. At this point, the design of the penny had remained unchanged for decades, featuring President Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse side and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. So why is this penny potentially worth so much more than its face value? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and specific minting errors that have turned this penny into a collector's dream. First, let's talk about rarity. The 1979 penny, like many other coins from this era, was mass-produced and circulated widely, meaning most of them have been worn down over time through use. A large number of these coins have seen significant wear, with scratches, discoloration, and other imperfections. So, finding one that's still in near-perfect condition is a big deal. Coins that have been carefully preserved or stored in pristine condition for decades are far rarer than those that have been in circulation. That's where the value of the 1979 penny increases. If you happen to find one in mint or uncirculated condition, you're already looking at a much more valuable coin. Now, let's get into the good stuff, minting errors. This is where the real excitement lies for coin collectors. Minting errors happen during the production process, and when they do, they result in coins that are different from the norm. These errors can include things like misaligned dies, doubled strikes, and other anomalies. For collectors, finding a coin with an error is like striking gold, because they're incredibly rare and unique. When it comes to the 1979 penny, some of these coins were struck with a variety of errors that make them highly desirable. One of the most sought-after errors is the double die strike, where the design is duplicated due to an imperfect die. This can create a noticeable doubling effect on certain parts of the coin's design, such as the date or the lettering. If you happen to find a 1979 penny with a double die error, you've got a coin that could be worth much more than you ever imagined. Another important factor that adds to the value of a 1979 penny is the mint mark. The mint mark indicates where the coin was struck, either in Denver or Philadelphia. In 1979, the majority of pennies were minted in Denver, marked with a D mint mark, while others were produced in Philadelphia with no mint mark. While most 1979 pennies are from Denver, those from Philadelphia, especially in excellent condition, are considered more rare and valuable. So, if you happen to have a 1979 penny from Philadelphia, it's worth taking a closer look to see if it has any errors or unique features that could further increase its value. When it comes to pricing these coins, it's important to note that a 1979 penny in typical circulated condition might not fetch much more than its face value, or maybe a few cents more. However, the real value comes when you find one that's in uncirculated condition, or better yet, one that has a rare minting error. If you manage to find a 1979 penny with a double die error, or one that has been carefully preserved and kept in perfect condition for decades, you could be looking at a coin that could fetch a substantial amount of money in the marketplace. So, how much could a 1979 penny be worth if it's in the right condition or has a rare error? Hold on to your seats, because this is where things get exciting. A well-preserved 1979 penny, especially one with a minting error like a double die, can be worth as much as $46,000. Yes, you heard that right, $46,000 for a single penny. That's an incredible amount of money for a coin that most people would overlook as just another piece of change. Now, you might be wondering how a single penny can fetch such a high price. The answer lies in its rarity. As more time passes, the number of perfectly preserved 1979 pennies continues to dwindle, and the ones with errors become even rarer. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for these rare pieces, which drives up demand and ultimately the price. So, if you've got a 1979 penny that's in mint condition, or one with a double die error, you could be holding on to something incredibly valuable. If you've got any 1979 pennies sitting around, it's definitely worth your time to take a closer look at them. Check for signs of wear, errors, and mint marks. Even a small scratch or imperfection can drastically lower the value of the coin, so make sure it's in the best condition possible before you consider selling or appraising it. And if you happen to find a 1979 penny with an error or that looks brand new, you may want to take it to a professional coin appraiser to get an official valuation. In the world of coin collecting, you never know when you might stumble upon a hidden treasure. And the 1979 penny is a perfect example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can become worth a small fortune. So, the next time you're sorting through your loose change or checking out your old coin collection, be sure to give your 1979 pennies a second glance. You could be holding on to a coin worth $46,000.